Hola chicos, bienvenidos a los apuntes de los comparativos. So first, let's talk about what you need to do. You need to have your packet open to page 19, and you need to follow along with these notes. So the idea is that you're taking notes kind of as if I were there in class, but you're each doing it at your own individual pace. How this is going to help you is that if you don't understand something I say or you need a little bit more time, you can pause the video and do the work that you need, and then you're getting a little bit more individualized time to take the notes. So we're first going to start with notes on the comparatives. Then you're going to do an activity on the comparatives. Then you're going to take notes on the superlatives. Same concept. The one thing I'll say about the notes on the superlatives is that I actually take them for my prospect class at Spanish 2. So I think I referenced class today a couple of times, which is a little bit different for you guys, but the notes themselves are the same. So here we have notes on the comparatives. So first thing you need to know is that we're going to refer to the word sustantivo, which means noun, and the word adjective, adjetivo. Okay, so let's take a look at our comparatives. Now remember, when we compare things, we're talking about two things of unequal or sometimes equal value. It depends on what we're saying. So if we look at our first one, we have más and then sustantivo or adjetivo que. So it means more, whatever it is, than. So I would want to say, for example, Spanish is more interesting than math. I would say el español es más interesante, which is an adjective, que. Okay? Or if I want to say Sara has more books than Paco, I would say Sara tiene más libros que Paco. Now the same thing happens when we want to say less than, but instead of the word más, which we know means more, we use menos, which means less. It looks like the word minus in English. So if I want to say Paco is less tall than Stephanie, we'd say Paco es menos alto, adjetivo, que Estefanía. Or I have less homework than my brother. Yo tengo menos tarea que mi hermano. Okay, so that's what we do. These two right here are what we use when we have things of unequal value. Right here is what happens when we have things of equal value. My dad is as funny as my mom. Mi papá es tan cómico como mi mamá. So you can see basically what we have are formulas. And we have to just plug the words into the formulas, and voila, we get our comparatives. Now, we have a couple of different situations that we need to talk about. So when I want to say are more or less than, for example, there are less than 30 students in class, I say hay menos de 30 estudiantes en la clase. The reason I'm using this is because I'm using a number, so I have to use menos de. Now, up here, you'll notice that when we had más or menos que, and those worked for nouns and adjectives. Down here, we'll notice that I say one thing with tan for as, something as with an adjective, and then I use something else when I have nouns. This is because of this word right here. In Spanish, I use the word tan with an adjective, but I have to change it when I use a noun. So if I want to say I have as many books as my sister, I would say yo tengo tantos libros como mi hermana. But if I wanted to say I have as much homework as, yo tengo tanta tarea como. Okay? So what happens is this is changing based on the noun. And then finally, if I wanted to say as much as, period, like I sing as much as Cata, it'd be yo canta tanto como Cata. So when we have our verbs. So let's take a look at our practice sentences. Please make sure, even if I move it off the screen, that you're always referring back to these formulas. These are really important for you to know. So the first sentence is, la pera es más deliciosa que los espárragos. So there I have a statement of inequality. I'm saying the pear is more delicious than the asparagus. So you guys are going to write the pear is more delicious than the asparagus. I'm running out of room. Okay, so let's take a look at number 2. La hamburguesa es menos saludable que el pollo. Okay, I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to write the correct answer to this statement. Okay, so you should have written the hamburger is less healthy than the chicken. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video, write the answers for number 3 and 4, and when you're done writing the answers, then you're going to play the video and check the answers. Again, right now you're going to pause the video, write your answers, and then when you're done writing them, you're going to click play so that you can check your answers. Good luck. Okay, so you've written the answers. Let's take a look at them. So number 3, el queso es tan sabroso como el yogur. The cheese is as tasty or as delicious as the yogurt. Let's take a look at number 4. Nosotros debemos comer más de 3 porciones de frutas y verduras cada día. We should eat more than 3 portions or 3 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Okay, chicos, so as always in Spanish, we have irregulars. These, though, are, 2 of them at least, are the same as irregulars that we have in English. Because if I want to say something is good and then there's something else, I don't say it's more good than, right? I say that it's better. So what happens is instead of saying más bueno or más bien, I use mejor. Instead of saying más malo, más mal, something weird like that, I use peor. And in Spanish, instead of saying más viejo que, or menos joven que, or menos viejo, or whatever, I use the words mayor and menor. Now, the nice things about these irregulars, mayor and menor, is that they look like the words that they represent. So, for example, menor looks like the word minor. A minor is someone who's younger. It makes sense that it's younger. Mayor looks like the word mayor. A mayor would be somebody who's older, right? That's not a kid. So that's kind of a way to help you remember. Now, I do want you guys to notice up here that it says no se usa ni más ni menos con estas palabras. Okay, so with these irregulars, you do not say más mejor que. That'd be like saying more better than. You don't use menos either. So you just use that word. So we'll take a look at number 1 together, and then I'll leave you to do number 2 and 3 by yourself. So number 1 we have yo soy mayor que mi prima. So that is I am older than my cousin. Okay, so take a look at number 2, 3, and 4. I want you to pause the video, and after you've written in the answers to 2, 3, and 4, then you're going to hit play and check your answers on the video. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so here we have the answers. So number 2, los Bears son mejores que los Packers. We have the Bears are better than the Packers. Número 3, el bistec es peor que el pollo para la salud. Steak is worse for your health than chicken. Número 4, Stewie es menor que Chris. Stewie is younger than Chris. And 2, the next. And you guys will see that we have a whole bunch of practice. Let's do number 1 together, and then I'm going to have you guys pause the video and write the rest of them out individually. So, for number 1, we have he is taller than you. So we're going to start by putting él es. He is. Now we need to go back and look at our formulas. So go back to the previous page and look at your formulas. So to say taller, I want to say more tall than. So I'm going to write más You can see right here we've provided you with the adjective, which is tall, so alto. Then our final part of the formula is que, and then we write you. Él es más alto que tú. So, looking through this page, you guys can see again that each time we've provided you with the adjective that you need. We've also starred when things are irregular, and that there are 8 total. So, what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to pause the video, take your time, go slowly, translate the whole sentence, and then when you're all done, I want you to pause, or play the video, that has been paused, and check your answers, okay? So pause the video, write the answers, and then come back. Gracias. Okay, chicos, so here we have the answers. Number 2, you are as smart as your brother. Tú eres tan inteligente como tu hermano. Just one little reminder, don't forget, not related to this, but just something to remember. Tú, you, has an accent. Tú, your, does not. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. Fruit is as healthy as vegetables. La fruta es tan saludable como las verduras. Okay, so both of these sentences right here are statements of equality. We're saying something is as equal as something else. Okay, let's look at number 4 with an irregular. My mom is older than my dad. Remember, older is one of those words that we don't say más viejo, okay? It's an irregular. So we say, mi mamá es mayor que mi papá. Number 4, we go back to just a regular statement of equality. She is as pretty as her sister. Ella es tan bonita como su hermana. Let's take a look at number 6. Homer is fatter than Bart. Homer es más gordo que Bart. Moving along to number 7, we have my homework is more difficult than your homework. Statement of inequality. Mi tarea es más difícil, with an accent over the middle I, que tu tarea. And finally, we have an irregular because we're working with a number here. So we have comemos más de 2 comidas cada día. Okay, chicos, so you've finished taking the notes. You will notice on Moodle that your next activity is to do an activity on online on BK Nelson, working with the comparatives. If you're a little bit fuzzy on this, I want you to find someone responsible in class that you think generally knows what's going on, and ask them if they could give you a little help on the questions that you still have on the comparatives, okay? There are a lot of really smart people in the class, and a lot of you guys are really good at helping each other, so go ask someone for help if you have questions. Once you're done with that, you're also going to go on to the activity on Moodle, okay? Good job, guys. Thank you. See you later.